I've been obsessed with Macbeth for a very long time, and I had this idea that it would be a good idea to flip each night in the same way that Mercutio and Romeo sometimes get flipped in Romeo and Juliet, to flip Lady Macbeth and Macbeth. So the actors playing Macbeth would play Macbeth one night and then Lady Macbeth the next, and vice versa, and do the same for Lady Macduff and Macduff, because I thought there's so many things in the play about gender and about what is masculinity, and the women in the play often chide the men about, are you man enough, and all that stuff, and I just thought that was really interesting. And
Sex Me Here.
And Sex Me Here. There's all lots of references to kind of gender bending, and something to which I'm not a stranger myself.
Really?
So I thought that would be really fun. And also, you know, to be honest, Lady Macbeth's a great part, and I thought I'd like to have a go at that as well. So we did this reading of it. I spoke to John about this, and we did a reading of it in New York earlier this year. So basically after that, and Andy Goldberg, who's the other director, who's not here, he came to that reading, and it was his idea, actually.
Well, I was staying with him
that
night, and so we tried it once with Alan as Macbeth, and then another time with Alan as Lady Macbeth, and it was extraordinary. But for me, I was like, oh, but the only problem is it makes the rest of the play seem a little bit ordinary. And Andy went, well, I've always thought that a one-man Macbeth would work, and suddenly the whole thing crystallised for me, and to do a kind of edited version of Macbeth where it's absolutely true to the story and the characters, but that it's something which is existing within one body. And, you know, just as Alan says, we've got a very strange relationship, it feels sometimes, in Britain with Shakespeare. Just the way that it's taught, and I've never directed Shakespeare before. And it took Alan a while to convince me, actually. I was like, oh, I don't think I'd be very good at that. And
I know, I remember the first time I said to you, you're like, oh, well, you know, it's my favourite Shakespeare of all the Shakespeare, but I've never, you know, I read it at school and didn't like it. I was like, oh, this is not going well.
But I mean, I think I did read it at school, but we weren't taught it at school. And I was brought up in doing amateur operatic theatre. And I thought I loved theatre, and then I remember being taken by our English class to see a Shakespeare play, having not studied it. One of the histories it was, at a theatre in Manchester, and it made me feel really stupid because I didn't understand a word that they were saying. Especially some of those histories are so dense and political.
So boring.
And I thought, oh, I'm too stupid to be, you know, to be involved in theatre. And I'd never really forgiven Shakespeare, and then when Alan said, you know, about Macbeth, I was like, because I think it is the most exciting story. Lady Macbeth, I think, is the best female Shakespeare character.
Definitely.
And I was on a train on the way down from Boston to New York to meet Alan about it, and I was reading it, and I got to Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, and I just started weeping, and I was like, I get it now. Duh! Yeah.